Alrighty, can the defense please step forward and give their opening statement?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, this is a case of mistaken identity. This was a case where someone was at the wrong place at the wrong time. An incomplete investigation was conducted, and the actual suspect remains loose on the streets as we speak. Today, I intend to prove exactly those things, that my client, Darquise, had nothing to do with this incident, and is completely based on circumstantial evidence, and that absolutely my client is innocent, and there is a perfectly reasonable doubt in any average person's mind that there is someone else on the loose who committed these heinous acts that we did not bring to justice today. Thank you.
Prosecution, please step forward. Yes.
All right, good morning. My name is Bobby McDaddy, and I am the prosecutor in this case. It is my pleasure to represent the people of this state. On this date, the defendant in this case vandalized government property, possessed burglary tools, evaded the police, and committed arson. At the conclusion of this case, we will ask the verdict of guilty. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury or judge, the prosecution will call two witnesses to the stand. We will call Officer Ortega and Officer Green, who will explain that he was on duty of the day of the crime, responded and observed the defendant fleeing from the scene with a friend in a white car. We will question these officers and prove to them that they definitely have been the guilty suspects. Thank you.
All right, defense, if you'd like to call your witness to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor. Steele. The defense calls DarquiseIcedUpDoubleCup Jackson Bulldozer IV to the stand.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I am your witness, Mr. Honor.
Alrighty.
Darquise.
You are free to walk up to the witness box if needed for this.
All right, and Darquise, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you guys?
Yes.
All right, so Darquise, I really only have a couple of questions for you today. I just want to basically ask you what happened with your car that you were telling me about.
Oh, yes, my car, it ran out of gas, so I bought a gas can, and I went to refuel it, and that is really all I can say about that.
All right, and I also have another question for you. Did you know that lockpicks are supposedly contraband? Were you aware that that is a legal act?
No.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Darquise, you need to stay up there. One second.
Okay.
Does the prosecution want to cross-examine the witness?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alrighty, step forward.
You go by Darren, right?
Nope, my name is Darquise.
All right, Darquise. So the lockpick that you had, the police officer found on you, what did you think that was for?
I have no idea. It was gifted to me. I just took it as a present. You know, like on Christmas Day.
Okay, so the fact that it's called a lockpick doesn't mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. I just took it as a present, and I kept it in my pockets.
Okay, and you said that you bought a gas can to refuel your car. What kind of car do you drive?
A Dominator.
A Dominator, okay. And what color is that car?
I have no idea.
You don't know what the color of your car is, okay.
Nope, I just bought the car.
All right. I think that's good for me.
I got a couple questions, if I may ask. Darquise, or can I call you Darren? Is that all right?
Nope, my name is Darquise.
All right, Darquise. So you said that you didn't know that the lockpick was illegal. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So, in a given situation, if someone didn't know the law, then you'd like to believe that they might be innocent about it. Is that right?
What exactly are you asking me?
Well, for example, if someone came up to me and said, running a red light, they didn't know that was against the law. Are they still breaking the law?
that is a very different question, which I do not have an answer for.
Objection,
Okay.
Your Honor. Relevant.
Prosecution, do you have a rebuttal?
All right, it's okay. All right, thank you very much.
Guess we're sustaining relevance then.
Suck it, pussy.
Oh.
Darkise, please just
Oh,
answer
suck it,
the
sir.
questions that are asked to you, Darkise, please.
Prosecution, would you like to call a witness at this moment?
Yes, first we would like to ask for Officer Ortega to the stand.
Let me just clarify. Does the prosecution or defense want to put Darkies up for recall?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Fuck your bald ass.
What?
All right, Ortega, take the stand.
This is okay. Hello there.
Can you shout, brother?
Can you guys hear me in the microphone?
I can hear you fine.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right,
Alright, officer.
prosecution, start with your questioning.
Officer Ortega, thank you for joining us today. I wanted to ask you, what happened today in your perspective?
Well, I was in MRPD lobby, on my phone doing finishing up a situation report on the last suspect I was handling, and then the next thing I hear a huge explosion in front of MRPD and shots being fired. I open my eyes and I look outside. I see Mr. Darkies standing over there wearing an eagle mask, and another guy in a car with a gun shooting at the police cruiser. And then I came out. Obviously the cruiser was on fire after it blew up. I came out, tried to chase the guy in the car. He fled away, and Mr. Darkis over there ran to the other side. Apparently, the guy in the car ran around the block and then picked Mr. Darkis up. What I did was I shot their tires, and then they started spinning, and then they 1050'd at Legion Square. For clearance, 1050 means vehicle accident. Afterwards, obviously, I called that all of it or on the radio. Officer Robbie Green and Cadet Marcel apprehended one of the individuals, which is Mr. Darkis. They put him under arrest and they took him back to MRPD for processing. The other one fled.
Okay, and can you verify what you found in his pockets when you searched him after you arrested him?
We found a gas can, also a lighter, also an advanced lockpick,
Great. And
And a
what?
switchblade.
and also switchblade. Yes.
Okay, and what exactly? How was his reaction when you were arresting him? What did he say exactly?
He keeps saying he didn't do it and that he has nothing to do with it.
Okay, okay.
I've got a couple questions. So the first question I have is, you said you saw the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Did you get a good look at what make that car was and what color
It's
it
a
was?
white Masacro two-door. It registers back to one of the locals. Obviously, it's a stolen vehicle.
Okay. And did you see anybody else outside when you went?
Nobody was at the parking lot in front of MRPD. It was only him and the other guy shooting from the car.
Okay. Now, did they say anything when they fled, as they were fleeing?
No, not that I could recall. No, the Darkies just started running, and the other guy, once he saw me, he pressed the gas pedal and went around the block.
Okay, so Darkies was outside of the vehicle at the time that you
Yes,
went outside.
he was outside of the vehicle, and he was standing right next to the burning cruiser.
Okay. Standing next to a burning cruiser
Yes.
with a gas can, a lighter, ran away, got in the car fled, and you arrested him. Okay, I think that's all I have for questions.
Prosecution, do you want to cross-examine this witness?
The defense, and yes, I would like
Oh, I apologize. Defense. Yes, step ahead then.
to. Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Santiago, did you personally see my client committing the act of arson?
No.
And did you end up apprehending the man with the gun who is currently unidentified?
No.
So you were unable to search that man to ascertain if he had the potential to set the fire as well?
No.
All right. And you testified that you did not see my client and that man communicating in any way or coordinating in any way other than being in the same car together?
Not that I heard. Like, I didn't hear them communicating.
Okay.
The only thing is that he ran around the block, and your client went inside his car.
Okay. And would you say that it would be reasonable for someone to run away from an explosion in possibly a panic, trying to escape possible danger?
It would be reasonable for anybody to run away from an explosion, yes.
Okay. And just a few more questions for you. Have you ever been a smoker before?
Yeah, actually.
So do you carry a lighter on you pretty much at all time?
Yes, I do carry a lighter on me.
Okay. And has your car ever run out of gas before?
No, not really.
Have you
Objection,
ever-
Your Honor. Relevance.
What is your rebuttal, Steele?
I'm trying to show that it's reasonable for anyone to carry these items around at any given time, that this is circumstantial evidence at best.
I will overrule. Be careful with your questioning.
All right. Would you say it's reasonable for someone to preempt running out of gas and to plan for that situation ahead of time?
Preempt running out of gas?
As a precaution, let's say.
I would say get some gas money, not a gas can.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I do have a couple more questions.
Alrighty, so at this moment you are putting Mr. Ortega up for recall?
Yes.
Alrighty, then go ahead with your questions.
So you say that you didn't hear anybody, right? But hold on one second here. Just looking over my notes.
The only reason I didn't hear anybody because of how loud the fire and the burning car was.
Yes. Okay. So that leads me to my next question. The car, you said you ran out after you heard the explosion, correct?
Mm-hmm. And one shot being fired.
So that right there should tell you that this person did not run from an explosion. This person was there during that explosion. He ran after the police officer came outside.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Rebuttal, prosecution?
Well, the defense asked if it's reasonable to run from an explosion. We all know, obviously, we want to value our lives, run from an explosion, but being the fact that the car had already exploded, I think that shows that this individual does not have value for life.
Your Honor, any reasonable person would be in a panic after an explosion and would explain their behavior as under duress.
I'm going to overrule that, but prosecution, be careful as testifying.
Understood. That is all, Your Honor.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine him, or
No, no further questions, Your Honor.
all right, Ortega, please return to the desk.
All right.
Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses you would like to call this stand?
Yes, we would like to put Officer Green onto the stand as a second witness.
What the? I'm gonna just stand right here.
Hello, Mr. Green. Thank you for joining us today. Would you mind explaining to us what happened in your perspective?
Yeah, should I start with the oath?
Oh yeah. Um,
Give me a moment, please. It's all right. It's all right, Bobby. Just give me a moment. Mr. Green,
Yeah,
do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Alrighty.
yes, sir.
So I was actually in the middle of a 1080, which would be a car chase, and upon that time, that was when I heard Ortega call out that there was an explosion at MRPD, and that he needed additional units to the area. So me and the cadet that I was with, Danil Rashkov, was we broke off of the chase as we were the third unit in. And upon arriving around Legion Square, we saw the white massacre come around the corner and crash into a wall. And around that time, that's when the two suspects both ran off, let's say westbound, towards PDM and the ammunition. And one guy was wearing a light blue pants, shorts, and a shirt, which we saw, but we had more officers on Mr. Jackson. What his name is crazy. But on the defense here, and we that was when we apprehended him. We had a cadet that tased him. That was when I put him into cuffs, and the first thing I did was read him his rights. And he asked for me to speak to them in Spanish. I gave it a little attempt afterwards, but then he just said that's okay because my Spanish is obviously not up to par. And then after that, I went ahead and searched him, asked him if he had anything that would stick me, poke me, hurt me, or stab me in any way. He said no. And then once going through his pockets, I found a lighter, petrol gas, a switchblade, along with the advanced lockpick as well. And
Okay,
those would be
thank
the
you.
only 4 illegal items. Well, the lighter I let him keep because it's not illegal, but the other 3 I confiscated from him.
You took my lighter. Fuck you.
I did not take your lighter.
Okay. So just to clarify, is that they knew that the police was trying to pull them over, and they decided to run and not listen to the laws. And then on top of that, as soon as the car crashed, they decided to attempt to flee. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, correct. One successfully fled off towards PDM, and then we actually apprehended him instead.
Great. All right.
Prosecution, do you have any more questions?
None at this time, Your Honor.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, please, Your Honor. Just one question. If there was a situation in where you feared for your life, would you do anything that it took to get away from that possible danger?
As a reasonable person, we were all obviously. You can see what I'm wearing now is what I was wearing at the time, and there were several officers in the area wearing similar uniforms to me or the cadet that's standing over there by the door. And obviously, a reasonable person should and would respond to us as a not a threat as we were trying to figure out.
Had a fear of police, would you say that would be reasonable to run in that situation?
I would say yes, but a fear of police is obvious. Let me rephrase that. So, knowing that running from the police is illegal should still not be considered a valid reason to run just because you're scared of them.
So you're not aware of the legal defense of acting under duress, where you are allowed to commit illegal acts as long as it isn't fear for your life?
Actually, when I don't believe he was under any sort of duress, because when I went to arrest him, he seemed pretty calm and he was actually joking with me. I read him his rights in English, and then afterwards he asked for me to read him in Spanish. And when I gave it an attempt, he started laughing and said, "Never mind." So
all right,
I don't believe he was under duress.
Do you currently hold any kind of medical degree?
No.
So would you say that you're qualified to diagnose someone with psychological conditions?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
He was reaching for his gun and he called it a taser.
Your Honor,
Darkies,
I got one more question for him, if that's all right.
So is the prosecution putting this witness up for recall?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, go ahead.
Officer, I just kind of want to piggyback off his question, because his question implied that when you're under duress, you might do anything to keep you in safety. Is that correct? Right.
Correct.
Objection, Your Honor. It's hearsay. It's not what I said. If I could clarify for the record.
All I'm trying to say is that all I'm trying to do is repeat the question that you had. But okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll move on. As Mr. Ortega testified over here, saying that the car that Mr. Darquise over here went into, that driver was the one that was shooting at the burned car. Is that correct? Right? So if that's the case, would someone in duress go straight forward to the shooter of someone that caused the accident to happen?
Right. No, not that I would understand.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. These men don't have medical degrees. They're not qualified to diagnose people with duress or to say what someone would.
Sorry, my rebuttal is that you don't need a medical degree to be under duress, because every person has the right to feel emotion.
You don't need a medical degree to be under duress. You need a medical degree to say what someone under duress would do. You don't have the qualifications to say what my client would do.
Please do not just rebut without being told to rebut.
I
That will
apologize.
be sustained. Change your questioning.
Officer, if you were put in that situation where you saw an explosion happen, would you run to the shooter to escape the explosion for your safety?
I would not run towards a shooter if I was not an officer or somebody that is willing to handle that situation. I would run away from the officer if I was under that. Or, no, correction, I would run away from that shooter in the White Massacre in that situation.
All right, thank you very much.
I've got one. Your Honor, may
Go
I?
ahead, prosecution. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so you're a police officer. If you were a civilian and you weren't a police officer, and the police officer was standing there coming out to see what was going on with an explosion, and the police officer wasn't shooting, wasn't holding a weapon of any kind, and that explosion, would you run to someone shooting from a car?
In my own thoughts, I would probably run into the police station towards them.
Even if you had like a reasonable fear of police, you would not run towards the shooter.
I would not run towards the shooter. I would run inside, most likely.
Okay, thank you.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, one final question, Your Honor. Thank you. Officer, in your opinion, what do you believe that my client's motive was for these alleged crimes?
I don't believe I can state a motive. I was not there at the actual time. I actually didn't even see the car on fire. I was just responding in the area. But
okay. So you're not aware of any current motive that my client would have for committing these crimes?
Well, recently in the last couple of weeks, we've had last couple of days, people have been vandalizing our cruisers as they've been aware that we are the ones paying for them at this point.
Okay, so no, you don't believe that you don't have a current motive that you believe my client committed these crimes?
That would be my motive, is that he would just like to spite the police and make us pay for something.
Okay, and did the investigation, did they actually ask my client any of these questions as to what his motive was for these crimes?
No, because you were there to, well, we didn't even we didn't get to cross-examine with him.
Okay, so you're saying you didn't ask my client questions before the charges were brought. No further questions, Your Honor.
You just twisted my words. I mean, we asked him, may I, Your Honor?
If the prosecution wants to answer
Wait,
your
you're
questions,
home
that's
alone?
one thing. You can't
Bet.
just.
I'm
you know,
sorry, I
yeah.
can't hear the judge.
Would the prosecution like to cross-examine this witness again, or are we taking this witness off of recall?
We have no further questions.
Defense, do you have any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
Then Green will be currently taking off of recall. At this moment, would any witnesses like to be recalled to the stand? Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Defense, would you like to please step forward, and give your closing statement?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Simply, my closing statement is this. There is another suspect out there, and the investigation ended prematurely as soon as my client was placed into custody. They didn't conduct a proper investigation and figure out who the true criminal and true perpetrator of this crime was. My client had every reason to run away from the police. He was fearing for his life. He had simply only committed the crime of running out of gas and trying to refill it in his car. This could have happened to anyone. For anyone carrying a lighter and a gas can, being nearby a fire is now a crime. What motive did my client have? They can't explain it other than a loose speculation that he may have committed some graffiti offenses in the past with no physical evidence. The beauty of this court system is that my client is innocent until proven guilty, unless there is a reasonable doubt. And I see plenty of reasonable doubt here. Simple fact is, there was no one who witnessed this. There is no physical evidence in this case. Everything is circumstantial. My client is innocent. Thank you.
Yes, Steele!
Prosecution, please stand forward and give your closing statement.
Yes, Your Honor. All right, my closing statement is this. This man right here, okay, let's keep it quiet now. This man here was carrying a gas can, was found on his person, was found with a lighter on his person. He was found running from an already exploded car towards someone that was shooting. And I might add that that car that he was running towards was stolen. So if he had a gas can and a lighter, what car was he filling up? The stolen car? He already told us that that wasn't his car. We believe this man is guilty. That is all.
Objection.
We're not going to allow objections to closing statements at this moment.
Yeah, no, sorry, Your Honor. My client misspoke. Please continue.
Alrighty. To everyone in this courtroom at this moment, we will now be going on a 10-minute recess so I can go decide what the final outcome of Darkise is. Feel free to go do whatever you need to do. There are vending machines on the other side of the hallway. We will return in 10 minutes.
Free Darkise, tell us backwards.
Today,
Hashtag study on top.
Sean, if I have to warn you again, I will hit you with contempt of court.
Let me pass.
I'm now going to attempt for the third time to read the final verdict. Today, Darkise was to be charged with arson, evasion, vandalism of government property, and possession of burglary tools. The court finds today that the prosecution failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt arson and vandalism of government property. I apologize. He was also found to have evaded from the police on this day. The court finds Darquise to have also been in possession of those burglary tools, and due to the time he has spent in this court, he will not be sentenced to jail time for that charge. In total, today, the court rules that Darquise will be fined $1,800 and no jail time.
Darkies free.
Darkies free. Start a GoFundMe.
Darkies, you're free, boy.
Darkies free.
Fuck that! Do I lose my job?
Darkies
Do I
on
lose my
top.
job?
I'll pay
That
Darkies.
is
It's
for me to
fine. It's
decide.
all right, Darkies. I'll hire you back at the recycle center.
Topher.
Judge, do you want me to go ahead and bill him
Good
myself?
job. Good job.
Hmm?
Wow.
Alright, I appreciate all of you guys, alright?
Yeah,
You're good to
Sully's
leave now.
on top.
Appreciate you all.
Barry gonna kill my ass.
And bill now, or we
Okay.
let him walk out the front door?
Yeah, let's not walk out through the front door.
Hey,
An
Darkies
EMS is
free
under
on my
attack. Can
mom.
we have some
Darkies
units
free,
respond to
baby.
that, please?
10-4. Hey, you can't stomp Steele.
Go, Barnaby.